The next level is the one that probably took me the longest to figure out how to get past. This is like another style of dungeon. They're all dungeons in this game. And instead of really the bats being a nuisance, you have these flying skulls. You now also have to deal with these rotating skulls, which the best way to take care of them is to throw an axe at them while they're up in the air so that they'll freeze in place so that you can move under them. You have to be very strategic at where you hit them because they're going to be stuck there. So when you try to get past, it's going to be, either harder or difficult depending upon where they're stopped. Next up is these rotating different types of platforms that will go above and below in many instances. Now, of course, when it's just one of them, it's easy to duck under or to jump over. Now, as you saw for that one, what I was able to do is move halfway through, duck down to let it go over my head, and then stand up quickly and continue on to the right. Depending upon which one moves first will depend upon which way you're going to go. Like for that one, I had to move into the middle of it and jump over the one at the bottom and then continue to the right. Like I said before, the whole game's trial and error, so getting used to these is definitely going to take you probably the longest in the game. Right here, jump to the middle of it, duck down quickly, immediately stand up as fast as possible, and then jump over the bottom one. If you do it just right, you should be able to get past it. More of the rotating skulls, they will take you out in one hit. However, the little skulls that just float around, they won't kill you instantly. This one obviously is a little bit easier to manage since it only goes below you. Next one, only above, so duck below it and head out. If you try to jump over that dagger, you'll end up missing. However, right next to it is another upgrade so that you can get back to your throwing axes immediately. However, of course, be careful when it comes to those daggers. There's going to be one later on that you want to avoid at all costs. Now here, the two platforms, when you jump to them, actually freeze in place. So I like to jump to the top one first and about the middle, take out the skull by freezing it as high as I can, and then move over to the right to get on the one below you. Try not to go back to the left, obviously, to get on it, and do not try to attempt making the jump necessarily from that top middle platform. Make another skull freeze, move over to this platform. Like I've said before, you have to keep walking with the platforms because they will not automatically move your character. If you just stand still, you end up falling into the pit. Now here's our next boss, the Grim Reaper boss, who fires multiple fireballs at you. Depending upon where his finger is really pointed is whether or not you're going to either try to avoid him by going backwards or jumping, or by ducking straight under him. You want to jump up, take out the flying skulls, and throw as many axes as quickly as possible into the head. Thankfully, with the axes, it doesn't take too many hits to take him out. When he's done, you move over, and we move on to the next level, which we start off on the elevator for one last time. Thankfully, though, we're only on the elevator for a brief period of time because we're going to jump over to the first platform. Now here begins the absolute most challenging part of the game, by far. The little baby dragons that we have to deal with. They only take a few shots with the axe. They actually only take 2 direct shots. However, the way they move, moving along with you when you jump or duck, makes them almost impossible to hit. Thankfully, the bubbles don't instantly kill you. However, you want to, of course, conserve your health as much as possible. To take out these dragons, you can do multiple things. You can either try to run away as quickly as possible. If you can get far enough to the left, you can duck down, and you can hit them with your axes easily. However, usually that's not necessarily an option, so the best thing is to jump up in the air, and just as you're falling back down, throw an axe quickly and be able to hit them directly at like barely the top of their head. Now thankfully, just like there you may have known this, it only took 1. However, I actually didn't kill the baby dragon. Because of some kind, I guess, glitch or whatever that makes like the Lizard King show up randomly from time to time, like he did just there, that the baby dragons will just disappear. Now, if they just hatched and he appears, when you kill the king lizard or whatever he is, they will spawn afterwards. Because of the randomness factor of the Lizard King showing up, you can't be reliant on him coming to save you from the little baby dragons, as terrible as that may sound. So you always have to be on alert when fighting them. Thankfully that one was right in front of me, so I was able to duck down quickly and hit him with the axe. Now this final part is definitely another one of those tough things in the game. We'll have to deal with a baby dragon. We have these bubbles coming up, as well as the letter D, which means we'll get our dagger weapon back. Thankfully, the Lizard King just spawned there, so he helped me take out the baby dragon. So to get over, you want to jump just enough so that you're on the very edge of the platform, and then you'll be able to make a full jump over the letter D and continue on. If for some reason you end up grabbing the letter D, you may want to call it quits and restart your game right then. The final boss, of course, isn't going to be very easy, and the dagger's not going to really help, especially when it's going to like triple the amount of hits it's going to have to take. Now here is the final boss. He has two main attacks. He has a little smoke ball that he throws out, and he has little baby dragons that seemingly come out of his stomach. The little baby dragons are just as annoying as the ones that we fought before. However, your main focus should really be on the little puffs of smoke. He shoots it either straight at you, or he'll shoot it and it'll go down to the ground. That should be your main focus. Do not make a jump at any point until you know where the smoke is going, so that you accidentally jump when he throws it at you straight, you'll end up taking a hit and end up losing your life. So you want to be as absolutely careful as possible, so wait till the smoke decides what direction it's going to go, then either duck or jump over it. A lot of luck goes into playing this final battle, however I don't think it's as tough as some of the things we've actually faced during the course of the game. So take your time, wait for the puffs of smoke, and slowly take out the baby dragons when you can, and after only, a couple minutes or so, he'll be taken care of. Slowly walk or crawl over to the right side of the screen to complete the game. You will be rewarded with a wonderful ending that is befitting a bad game. Congratulations, our hero has triumphed. Daphne is saved from Singe's evil clutches, and may you both live happily ever after, ? And a few periods. Not a very exciting ending by any means, but what's to be expected from an overall pretty bad game. Now thankfully, the Japanese version of this game actually improved the speed pretty much 2 times the normal speed of this game, so it makes the game not only a little bit more playable, but also a little bit more fun to deal with. I'm not sure whose decision it was to make the speed that they chose, and that's pretty much what kills the game. So with that, that's going to wrap up another edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.